Good morning and welcome to December 8th, 2022 and day 8 of our Advent calendar by Ursula Schwab. We are going to be opening up day 8 and let's see what we get to do today. Okay, ready? Okay, this looks like a coloring page. It says 5 o'clock tea time down there. This is in German, so let me Google translate it and I'll be able to tell you what it says as well. I'm sure my German speaking people are able to read and translate this better than I am with Google Translate, but if my spelling was correct when I entered it, it reads something like, "And though joy is hasty, yet before it comes a long hope, and a longer memory follows it." Jean Paul. So that's a nice quote. And this page looks to me like a coloring page. So I think I've kind of figured out this is day 8, and what's been kind of a pattern so far is we have an activity on one day and then the next day we have a coloring page. So it seems like we're alternating. So today is going to be a coloring page and I expect tomorrow is an activity, which is a nice break because yesterday's, which was the tea light holder, I'll just grab that here, the tea light holder coaster, took quite a while and was quite an involved activity. So I'm looking forward to spending some time just doing some coloring. So because it's a coloring page, let me grab my colored cubes and pick a palette, and then we'll get started. Diving into box number 1 of my color cube, I'm going to pull out color palette number 181. Okay, 181. I picked this because of the cookies on the picture here. We've got some cookies. I thought we would have, I'm going to be adding obviously green and red for the berries, so I couldn't find a color palette that was everything I wanted, so I'm just picking this as a starting base, but I will certainly add the colors that I need, but it just gives me a place to start so that I can pull out a bunch of pencils and help me move things along a little faster. So let me go grab my pencils and see which ones I'm going to use this time. I think I'm going to venture away from polychromos and just use some of my other sets. Since we are going to be doing cookies and such, I'm going to bring out my Mega Cretacolor pencils, and I've got both the metallic and the regular set, plus I've got some Lyra skin tone sets. So I've got a number of brown shades should I need them, and they are all fun to use. So those will be the pencils I select. I'm going to put a piece of paper behind my page to cushion it a little bit, and then I have an area over here to do some swatching as I need to. So let me just go pull out some pencils and we'll begin, and we'll also talk a little bit and we'll have a few questions in today's video as well. These pencils are the larger size pencils. I'm going to be using olive green dark, and I'm just going to start on some of these evergreen boughs here. So because today's page has some cookies on it, we're going to talk about baking today. And so my question for today, for your first question, is do you do Christmas baking? So do you bake cookies, or do you make Christmas cake, fruit cake? My sister makes fruit cake and always gives me some, and I really do enjoy it. She makes the dark kind, and it's great. I make cookies. I make shortbread cookies, and I will put a recipe up on the screen here for you to see. It's a whipped shortbread, and it uses icing sugar instead of regular granulated sugar, so they are quite melt in your mouth. They are of course not diet friendly, but that's okay. You don't need to eat a whole lot. I'll keep coloring this, and I'll let you take a peek at my shortbread recipe. So I'm working on the candle now, and I really like this kind of lavender color here. So I'm going to go to my metallic section, and there is a cotton candy, and it's very close to that lavender color, so I think I'm going to go with that. So it is one of the metallic ones, and then I've also got a blooming viola, which is a darker purple, so if I'm needing some shadows and such, I can use that. So I hope this is entertaining somewhat to you. I'll zoom you in a little bit. Back to our questions. Sticking with cookies, I wondered what your favorite cookie is. I love gingerbread cookies, and I have a girlfriend who makes them from her mother's recipe, and every year I give her an empty tin and she fills it with homemade gingerbread cookies, and that's our gift exchange. That's what she gives to me, is homemade gingerbread cookies, and they are the best cookies ever. So my question obviously is going to be about sugar cookies. Do you make them? And if you make them, do you ice them? With I guess it's royal icing is the normal icing for a sugar cookie. Just wondering if you ice your sugar cookies. We are ready to ice our cookies, so I'm going to use a purple jelly roll, and I'm going to do all the small bits, and then I will do some stickles. I think exactly the right shade for the stickles in purple, so I may do the stickles white, so kind of a glittery. So in order to get some purple underneath it, I'm going to use a purple pencil and lightly do it in, and then we'll put the clear stickles on top. So we should still see some purple underneath. I'll finish this and we'll go see how this looks. Yeah, so you will see the purple will shine up, and it will end up looking this color. So that'll be excellent. And this will be definitely sugar cookie. Okay, I'll finish the rest of this sugar cookie, and then this one we will do in my favorite cookie, which, as I mentioned before, is gingerbread. So that's what we're going to do there, and then we will continue on. We still got lots to color on this page. I'll zoom you back out a bit and you can see where we're at. Still lots to color. The gingerbread cookie is done. It's got quite a bit of detailing and stuff on here, so while I personally don't ice my gingerbread cookies, we are going to put some on this. So I'm going to use my silver Signo gel pen, and I'm just going to turn the page a little bit so I'm not resting my hand in the wet stickles from the other cookie. There we go. And I think that'll look nice. Not sure how many people actually do ice their gingerbread cookies, so I did ask the question about icing your sugar cookies, but the same question could be for your gingerbread cookies too. Would you ice your gingerbread cookies? Okay, I'm going to keep doing these little hearts along their edge, and I'll be right back. As I'm waiting for the stickles to dry on the cookies, I'm just going to shift over to the other side of the page, and I have started to fill in some of the berries. As you recall, I didn't have a red on my color palette, but nor did I have green. So all I've done is selected a red that I would like. So I selected a dark red, which is a madder carmine, and I'll bring you in, and I'm just going to be completing these berries. I will use a Gamsol blender to blend it out. So I'll show you that. Obviously berries in the background are a little bit darker than the foreground, and I don't have much luck with a white gel pen, so instead I will use my Signal Broad Silver, and I'll add some highlights. So I'll show you that here. And that's what the highlights will look like. When I've got all the berries done, then we'll move on to the holly leaves. We've got the teacup still to do, and some the tablecloth and stuff like that, but I think it's starting to come together. These coloring pages seem to be getting a little bit more detailed as we move through the month, but they're all very beautiful pictures, and Ursula Schwab has done a fantastic job of illustrating the items in this book so far. So I'll keep coloring, and what will be just a few seconds for you will probably be about a half hour for me. So see you shortly. Show you a little bit of what I'm doing also to make a bit of a natural highlight is on the side of the berry where I expect light to be hitting, so probably the top on this case, since there's some stars here, putting a little bit lighter, so carmine extra fine, and then coming with the darker color and circling the whole amount, but leaving that lighter shade at the top. Just one way to also make a highlight. And so that's one coat, and then I will come back with the lighter color again and blend it all together. That if you don't have a gel pen around, you can still make a highlight just using two different colors. I'll then take my blender pen and blend it all together. Here's where we're at right now. Just bring you up a little closer. You can see the purple underneath the clear stickles. The berries are all finished, and now we've got some holly to work on. Thought we would work a little bit on this holly together. I have pulled out a green Pigma brush marker, and I'm just going to be using it for these very fine vines and part of the leaves, and so I'll continue doing that. And for the holly leaves, I'm using two colors. I'm using a cadmium citron, which is a yellow, and I'm doing the inside lightly, and then I am using leaf green for the edges, so solid green on the outside edge of the holly, and then a light, so harder pressure on the outside, and a light pressure on the inside of the leaf over top of the yellow, so blends that out a bit, and then I will blend it with a Gamsol as well. Add a little bit more yellow, blend that out. Just touching, all the Gamsol is doing is dissolving the binder, allowing the pigment to sink into the page, removing the whites of the paper, sinks into the tooth, and there we go. That's how the leaves are coming together. I'll continue on with the leaves, and then we will come back and do the teacup in a few minutes. Well, that took a little bit of time, let me tell you. The berries and the holly leaves are done. I'm now going to start on the teacup. I'm going to use ivory as the base color for the teacup, and then the accent will be purple. So it's going to be ivory colored teacup. I'm going to have tea in the teacup, and hopefully that looks good. So I'm going to do the as much of it in ivory as I can, and then the accent will be in the metallic purple with the jelly roll, and that way we'll get a little bit of sparkle on the page as well. While we're coloring the teacup, I will ask my final question for the day today, and that is, when you are having your cookies, what do you like to drink with them? So do you like a warm drink, or do you like milk, or a cool drink? I like probably to drink tea with my cookies. I have 1 cup of coffee every day first thing in the morning. We'll keep coloring that. I'll throw on some purple so you can see where I'm going to be putting the purple. So this is a fancy teacup. So we're going to have purple's gilded edge along the top, and then we're going to also have purple on the teacup itself. There we go. That's how it's going to look, and I'm going to do every other ball here, and I will grab a gold jelly roll and add some gold accents to go with the purple. So we'll continue on, and I'll bring you back in when I've got something interesting to show you. So to keep tying everything together, I've pulled out my cotton candy again, which is the lighter purple from here, and I've selected a color called dark gray. So I'm going to put the dark gray as the kind of the main color of the placemat, and then it has this edge along here, which I will do in the purple, cotton candy purple color, and then we'll have this edge also dark gray. It'll look like that. Oops, there goes a pencil crayon. Okay, so I'll color along it. I do enjoy coloring with these Cretacolor pencils. They are a wax-based pencil, but they are a large size, so if you are someone who has some hand issues, or you just like a bigger pencil, then it might be worth trying out this set. There's only 36 colors in the main set, and then there is a set of, I believe, 12 metallic colors, so it's not a huge set. For the metallic pencils, it does seem to take quite a few coats if you want it to actually be shiny, which is the case for most metallic pencils. And I'm not looking for overall shine here, so I just want a good color. So let me keep coloring this, and when I'm done this section, I'll be back to show you how it's looking. A few finishing touches I thought I'd point out. I have added some clear stickles to the ornaments along with some metallic jelly roll. We're using purple, green, and gold. I've also added green to the four corners and sparkle pop on any place where you see a star. So I'm finishing off doing the stars, and then once we're done that, I'll let everything dry and I'll come back for a final look at today's picture. And here we are at a final look at our picture of tea and cookies. Really like how it turned out. Love all the little shine when you move the page. The cookies look inviting to eat. The tea looks great. Very happy with the picture. Just to show you a quick show of the supplies used in this completing the page, we used a variety of Create a Color pencils, some micron pens, one zig marker, a couple of gel pens, and my blender with the Gamsol in a Copic marker, and 2 stickles. That's it for today. That's day 8, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 9. Good night, everyone.